Hello everyone and welcome to the webinar. My name is Ankita and I'm the part of marketing team. I will be your co-host for today's webinar. So in today's webinar, our digital transformation expert, Mr. Karthik Sagar, who has more than 12 plus years of experience helping utilities and telecom around the globe in their digital transformation process. Today, Karthik will take you through how we can embark digital transformation by improving field services. Thank you. Over to you, Karthik.
Thanks, Ankita. Thanks for that introduction. So we're going to discuss today about how utilities can embark on the digital transformation journey by improving the field services. Utility and field services are some two words that you can see that everywhere you see a utility, there is some kind of field service has to be field work being done. Either it could be a gas utility, water utility, or it could be electric utility. There is enough amount of network on the field where there's a lot of field services to be provided, right? So that's where we see how it is, how can the utilities embark this transformation so that a digital enabled platform enabling a seamless communication between the field service and the back office team. So to give a brief background about who we are, Magic Minds is an organization that is focused working towards utilities and telecoms across the globe. We operate in the United States, Australia, New Zealand, and India. We're an organization, 2 years old organization now, working in closely with many utilities and a global partner for GE, and specifically implementing field solution services across the industry and some of the large utilities in India, United States, and Australia. We are an organization whose mission is mainly primarily towards providing a better digital solutions to the utilities, technology implementation, which can help organization raise the standard in terms of how they are performing and how they are using the information that is available for the best possible, putting it to the best possible use. Continuous advancement, evolvement, and improvement is what we actually focus upon and bring onto the table expertise for these utilities. Myself, I'm a growth leader for research and development who have been working very closely associated with utilities, understanding their pain areas and taking them through a journey in which their standalone systems and some age-old systems are being converted to the latest digital platforms and ensuring that the information is happening seamlessly transferred between various stakeholders across the organization. Freelon is one such product that I have designed and have been implementing for various customers across the globe, which enables, which kickstarts the digital transformation, the digital journey of any utility. These are a few of the customers globally we are working with on the current day, large-scale customers in gas, water, telecom, and power utilities. As part of their digital journey. So with that introduction, let me also check where do you belong. If you are on this webinar, I understand that if you're here, you are looking for some prospect around how can you actually take this digital transformation journey forward of in your organization with respect to your role or with respect to the job you do. But if that has to be understood, answer me any of these following questions. Are there many stakeholders in your business process and you are juggling between them and trying to create a synchrony between these people in terms of the information you share? If you are among those who would like to keep things simple and efficient in your organization with respect to the work you do, I would like to understand if you are among those people. Is there a need in your work that you do or the department you work as an organization where you are using communication tools or you need a communication tool so that you can make the job easier? Most importantly, is training required or you are facing challenges training your old staff or new staff with the technology advancement that is happening and you're facing resistance or reluctance from your team in adapting new technologies Do you have a team working back office and on field, part of construction management as part of your gas utility, or with your asset inspections as part of your electric utility, in terms of your water management? Is there a way you see, is there is something you see your back office and field service, field teams not having that coordination or lack of communication creating hassles for you? Is there a process where your team needs to capture the data on the paper? You are following still the usual process of capturing data on the paper, bringing back office and creating a digitized copy of it, and then sharing among your distributing among your stakeholders? And last but not the least, do you use a business process that is dynamic and keep changing frequently? Day after day, you have a business process that needs to be changed frequently, adapting to the organization needs or changing needs of the field services. Do you see any of these challenges as part of your organization, the job you do, or the role you are currently occupied with? So if you are talking about any of these things as a problem statement, as a challenge that you see in your problem, current organization or the job you do, then I think you need to understand that there is something called as a project success triangle or the communication success triangle that needs to be implemented in your organization, which is primarily about how you communicate, how you coordinate, how you collaborate, and how you execute. This is a project success triangle or a digital success journey triangle that any organization needs to look into, and each triangle that you're looking over there is one part of your communication, part of the challenge that needs to be solved into. If you have a pen and book handy, just write out over there and write the digital success triangle has four elements: communication, coordination, collaboration, and finally, how do you maintain a synchrony between these three through your execution? Now, once you draw this triangle on your paper, pen with a pen and paper, circle out and write the area where you are actually facing a problem. Is it the communication where you are facing a problem today? Is it the coordination that you face a problem today? Is it the collaboration that you're facing a problem today? Or is it the execution of any of the processes that is actually a problem today? While many see communication, coordination, and collaboration as a similar thing, we see as a three different elements. Communication is how you communicate a message to your team. Coordination is how you exchange the information between the team. Collaborate is where you actually work synchronously by distributing the tasks and getting the work done. Execution is primarily about how you are actually getting the work done. So if you're finding most of these points are relevant, okay, and you have drawn this triangle on your paper and you're actually able to write out what is the focus area where you're actually missing upon, you are actually done 30% of your job as part of this webinar, where you identified where you are actually sitting and on seeing a problem in your complete process. While we go into any utility, what the primary step, what we do is that we sit down with them, understand the complete business process flow that they are adapting on the current day, and try to figure out what are the challenges or where are the challenges currently focused upon. So that is the first step as part of your digital transformation journey, understanding where is your current problem. Like for example, as I talk a lot about with respect to the field service perspective, let me see that today with respect to how this actually plays on. Like for example, if you take a field crew perspective, they're capturing data on the paper forms, they need to access many documents for reference. They don't have enough tools or information with respect to the work they do. And then navigation to the right location on the time. Like for example, if you see these four problems that are common problems that are stated by any field crew perspective, that is primarily because these are the challenges on a daily basis they actually face upon. So capturing data on the forms, they know that sometimes there is a problem with handwriting. They need to carry a lot of number of forms to the paper on the field. They sometimes the location they are working upon is not flexible for them to write it on the paper. For some of the work they are doing, they need to access the documents, referential documents, which will help them they do their job easily, but that is not available handy. So they need to go on to the calling back office teams, getting more information. Insufficient tools for the field crew is essentially we don't have the relevant information. Every time it is not possible that they have the relevant information in hand. So they are actually clueless sometimes in the work they do, and sometimes it is navigation to the right location on the time. While field crew see this as their perspective of challenges as the top problem areas, they see as an area where they are challenged with the other side of the back office team, which need to coordinate and collaborate, see that they don't have the real-time information. As the work is being done on the field, most of the times, like when you correlate this with a water pipeline construction or a gas pipeline construction, getting the information at the end of the day or getting the information at the end of the week is always a problematic thing because construction happens only once at that point of time. Once that is done, if your pipe is lowered, it is not possible for you to get the complete pipe out and recorrect it, right? So there are kind of challenges where you need information in the real time. Scheduling and assigning work to your field team. This is a primary area where I see most of the utilities embark on a digital journey where they have rosters being automatically assigned to the field crews and work being digitally assigned so that there is less traction or less friction between the back office team and the field team and how the work is being done. Approval process, you capture work on the field, you capture some data from the field. It needs to go through an approval process before it's being entered into the system so that all the right information is being entered in the system. And what approval process this happens? Most of the times, what we see is that when there is an approval process, there's a workflow process. The file gets stagnant at various people. The email does not get responded upon, so there is a delay in terms of the approval process that it takes. And finally, how do you track and monitor the progress of the work that is being done? This is essentially the reports we talk about, the systematic information that is being provided, all that coming into picture over here. This is the top problem areas we see in any organization. How do we understand or how do we understand if where there's a problem, right? You need to understand the process flow to get an understanding of this. Before you embark on a digital journey, you need to plot out every step that is happening in your organization with respect to your business flow that can help you understand the cost, time, and efficiency of that step. For example, let's go through one of the process. Over here, I'm trying to simulate a process wherein information is being collected from the field and there is a back office organization which is preparing reports out of this, and then the information is being distributed among the various stakeholders. Like, for what is the work that needs to be done by your field team? It could be an inspection, construction, or an audit that has to be performed. You identify the people or the third-party vendors who are external to the organization who actually need to perform this work for you. Now, identifying these vendors, distributing them to the paper forms where the information has to be collected is you can start writing out the man-hour rate that is involved and also the number of printing costs that is involved, the process that is involved as part of someone coming to the organization, collecting these papers, going back onto the field, the journey time and the journey cost. So field engineer visits the sites to perform the job. So once he visits, this is the time you need to understand how much time it requires for someone to go onto the field, collect the information and come back. Then field engineer captures the data, photographs that they have to collect at various sites so that they understand all this information is being collected at various sites. And once information is being collected, someone needs to come to back office, collect this information, prepare a report accordingly so that that can be distributed among the various stakeholders via before they distribute, they need to understand if corrections has to be done, the approval process that needs to be put in place. And then once you have the information in place, once all the information is in place, you need to start distributing them among various stakeholders who are the right intended audience for this information, right? So then you're going for an approval cycle. It goes through a cycle where you're going through approval process. Over here, there could be a lot of stagnation because people not acting upon the files, or these files or the emails are not being attended upon, or they're being missed upon, right? So once you have that approval process, you validated information, then updated information is sent into the system, you generate the reports, and then these issues, if there are any issues, they need to be reported back to the team so that they can do the corrections. You can do the escalation. You need to do the escalations to the next levels if some information is not being handled upon. Like for example, there's a failure at device on your field and that has been reported by your field team, and that device has to be replaced. But the approval cycle is taking time and it needs to be escalated to the next level to get an information, to get an approval on top of it. Escalate if not corrected. So this is an entire flow that needs to be taken in place. And at every step, you can see there's a lot of manpower involved. If you write down the manpower cost that is involved at every step and time that is taken at every step, you come to understanding of how much effort that goes into it and how much, what is the efficiency of the entire process. Assuming the entire process that I've demonstrated, flow that I've written over here is with respect to paper process, or is it going via an email? And the approval cycle is via an email process. This is, you'll come to know what is the time lag that is happening at every step. Now, how technology can help with productivity and problem solving. Now, if we understand, when we talk about the digital journey, once you have plotted out your entire flow process and you have understood what is the effort that is going in, what is the cost that is going in, what is the time. Effort, cost, and time are the three parameters by which you can understand how much efficiency can be brought into the system or where you can reduce your effort and increase your efficiency. So how technology can help enhance the productivity for you, or whatever the step that we have discussed till now, how that can be enhanced. So if you're having a technology, or if there's a technology, it can help you increase the productivity almost in all segments. For example, if you are eradicating your paper-driven process with the digital devices, if you are coming out of the process wherein you can give your do-it-yourself kind of a system where all the information that needs to be collected and all the forms that needs to be created are given to your team so that they can do it directly without having any dependency. That's a major breakthrough in your technology process. Giving an entire integrated solution where assignment, tracking, data capturing, and publishing the data is entirely taken care as one solution. That can be a big breakthrough for you in terms of how you're managing your data and how you're managing your process. This is considered as one of the key steps in your digital journey when you're actually embarking your digital journey, how integrated your solution can actually define your entire process. Software that will allow multiple systems to exchange data seamlessly, how you exchange the data between the systems, actually defines how you are actually making use of your data. And finally, maintaining a field force tools which can allow field crews to complete work in a single trip rather than in 2-3 trips. Someone goes onto the field, needs some additional information, comes back to the office, collects that information, goes back onto the field. With that information, he sees that some replacement has to be done, come back to the office to report a replacement or report an issue. Take the respective team feedback. So number of trips that you do to your back office or number of phone calls that you do to your back office will actually determine how much efficiency that can be improvised by improving that single step. Now, from a field perspective, you need to follow something as a KISS tool, keep it simple. Every process that you do, every enhancement that you need to be simple. You need to integrate augmenting the existing workflows with a technology, replace your existing manual workflows with system-driven workflows so that will help you automate your journey. And when it's about field, keep it about the field. That will actually make the field perspective very simplified and the problem solving from a field perspective. Now, when you talk about a back office perspective, they need to be able to view the photos, videos, data that is being captured in real time so that they don't need to rely on calling someone to capture the data. Employ cloud solutions so that the information is in real time exchange. Be at every site virtually so that you can see the information at any site, generate reports without any of the stakeholders requiring to go through the line and keep checking with everyone in the organization or this next level lead or next level subordinate to get the information. It needs to be simple such that information is fetched directly from the system and you don't need to rely on someone else for getting the information, and simplify the complete approval process. Now, keeping all this together, the 5 steps, you can write it down. First, your transformation journey is you need to have dynamic wizards creation for gathering the field data. You need to automate scheduling and assignment of the routine work. Design and drive rosters. Instead of manually driving the rosters, you need to automate that roster process. Locate and move your crew to the locations without the time lapse. And finally, track and monitor through your dashboard. With your field, if you're having a field team who is working across and you're having a back office team which is coordinating that field team, then these 5 steps can actually make it more reasonable for you in ensuring that you improve the efficiency. Like, let's see how this can improve the process that we have seen earlier. Employ a web portal or an administrative portal where someone can log in, identify the work that needs to be done, and associate any particular form in which the information needs to be captured, and then assign it to your field crew so that he gets a notification on his mobile device that a work has been assigned. Configure an approval process in the system such that whenever the data comes for approval, the administrative portal or the web portal has an indication for it and follows him up frequently to get the approval done, and everyone in the organization can see where it is waiting for approval. Your field engineer can visit to the field, capture information with the mobile device so that he fill in the information, capture the photos. If he needs some support, report that in as part of the mobile device so that at every site, as soon as he does it, that is visible to everyone in the information in the back office team. So the back office team can immediately look into it. An email is being generated and notified to everyone in the stakeholders in the system. The departments can validate the data on the fly when the site one information is submitted without waiting till end of the week or end of the day. That information is being processed through an automatic approval process in the system. And then that is put to the approval process. Once that is done, the information being distributed to all the stakeholders in the system seamlessly so that there's a lot of manual process that has been cut out. So there's a lot of manpower cost reduced. There's a lot of paperwork that has been cut out. So there is a reduction in the printing cost and reduction in the digitization cost. There is reduction in the approval time. So there's improving your efficiency of work done on the field to getting it finalized in a more efficient process. So each step associated with its effort, time, and money that actually determines when you take a journey of digital journey, when you have this kind of paper plots drawn, you understand what is the various at every step, what is the effort that is going in, cost that is going in, and the time that is going in. So what step that the industry need to take to make this vision into reality when you're talking about an embarking or digital journey? Integrate an omni-channel solution. There needs to be a single system which is responsible for all your data collection process instead of multiple systems. Be flag bearers of the change. Try to identify where that change can come in, and also make the as an industry, what are the best steps that are being taken in your organization that can be used as template in other organizations. Make technology a priority, as in when you move forward, try to bring in the technology that can help you address the problem so that make it more efficient. Most of the organizations and people, when I talk to them, they say that the organizations are not willing to budget it or make it a priority. I say that go and do a small pilots which are of least not taking huge amount. Some of the platforms offer free trials, like we offer our solution Freelon for a trial for 3 months. Try to take up such kind of things as a pilot so that you can showcase the importance in your organization. And you budget technology every year when you are actually budgeting the technology, budgeting across. Try to budget some for the technology and some for the digital journey so that as along the process you have some efficiency in it. Freelon is one such solution that we have designed and have been implementing to various organizations, various utilities across the globe, whose primary responsibility is to automate your field operations anytime, anywhere. It actually synchronizes your back office work with your field work. So anytime you're talking about a digital journey, this Freelon can be one such platform that can help you. You can go on to freelon.com to look in more about it. So it is something that is pretty useful. There are various use cases implemented in annual maintenance plan. If you're doing an annual maintenance and you want to automate it, that can pretty well be useful. You can do surveys, field surveys, audits, safety inspections, post and pre-analysis of the work site, regulations and policy management, workflow and approval cycles. All this can very well be handled, and there are many various use cases that we have already addressed as part of electric utilities, water utilities, and also gas utilities. We have solutions in gas as construction management, in water as for asset inspections. Offers is an is a do-it-yourself platform where you can design your own forms by just drag and drop, add users, assign the work without any IT or technical team backend support required. Any of your team can easily use it. So least amount of training is required. So using this platform, you can design your workflows, create your workflows, perform field activity, revise and review your data, create approval process, escalation process. It has a rich GIS-driven feature set where you can actually do field asset viewing, inspection reports, asset updates, service feasibility, equipment installation, spatial analysis, and fleet management and safety inspections being done. So various amount of capabilities that you can do it yourself with least amount of investment into your technology. So the Freelon is one such platform that has been used by various utilities today with do-it-yourself design, so that they can actually design the approval process and the forms without intervention of any IT team. It offers flexible design, anytime, any device, hosted or private, advanced fields and enterprise integrations that can actually give you an omni-channel data collection process. So if you're on your journey to a digital transformation in your organization, we offer you the Freelon platform that you can take where whatever I have described or detailed out as part of every step that can be adapted in your organization. We handhold you in designing the process for you so that your digital journey, your first step towards your digital journey is very well taken care of. So key takeaways, draft your complete process so that you understand the gaps, you understand the effort it takes, you understand the cost it takes, and you understand the time it takes. Build a smarter solutions, innovative approach, collaboration tools, technology in field, and focus on making jobs easier. So it is important that you need to be, whatever the role you are playing in your organization, you need to be a leader and set a vision for the department so that you can build that, you can take forward every step that is required to move on this digital journey. Conclude this webinar. Before I conclude this webinar, let me see if I can actually show a glimpse of how the Freelon looks like, how you can make use of it. Bring up the application for you so that this is an web-driven application, cloud-driven solution. So if someone is interested, I'll post across I'll copy a link, I'll post a link in the chat box. Sign up and use it across so that you can experience the solution we are talking about. Wherein various activities like do-it-yourself design, like for example, you can, if there is a number of forms or information that is to be captured on the field, you can just create a new form by just drag and drop. Like for example, I go into this and see there is various widgets provided on the left hand side. Whatever the widgets I require, it could be a camera photo capture, a barcode scan, or a signature, or a map related functionality where you want to see your existing network on the map, water network, electric network, or gas network on the map. Then you can just drag and drop on the field, capture the coordinates, rate across the work that is being done. You can just drag and drop over here and then define the kind of field you want. Like for example, I've defined one drop down over here which says select the species, and that has various drop downs associated to it for capturing the information. So you can have a photo captured at the end of the work that is being done. You can geotag it. So the forms are being captured at any point. You can distribute these forms. You can create projects or a particular task. Like for example, there's a one construction project that I've created for gas utility. And then I have a monthly task created so that I can see the information that has been submitted by this contractor, the coordinate at which he has submitted the record. I have the information that has been submitted. So various observations and the photo that has been captured. If there is any sketching that has been done or any photos that have been attached, I can very well look into it. I can see the network that has been drawn over here, the red line that has been done as part of the inspection process, the on-field journey process. I can click on them to view the information that has been submitted as well. I can edit the sketching that has been provided. I can see it is pending for review. So if I just look for the history, uh, there's an approval process. There has been a rejection that has happened because there is an extension that is required that was not done. And then the field engineer has resubmitted the data for approval. And I can see how many days it is pending for approval from. I can see the location coordinates where the information has been submitted from. The back office, I'm sitting and looking at all this information. If I want to send this in an email to someone for approval or review, very well do it from here directly. So you can define your workflows for approval. You can just come over here and say I've created a workflow. From whom to whom it needs to go for approval is very well designed. So I can just design this kind of workflows effectively. Like I create a new one saying that, okay, when my contractor approves it, it needs to go to one moderator and then add another level in this workflow. Click on plus over here, from here to here, and then that is done. So this kind of workflow creations, how the data needs to process between various systems, that is also very much available as part of this process. So that is how the Freelon system will be quite helpful in terms of your back office system to capture any kind of data, visualize it. It comes with inbuilt security and device management. So that will be something that will be useful for any organization or utility. See some questions on the chat box. Can the data capture forms be interlocked to ensure information or photos are included before the form or data can be submitted? Yes. You can certainly define your rules in terms of how the data needs to be captured so that it makes easier for your back office team to assess the information that is being provided. Or you can actually pre-provide the information as well in terms of pre-populated records so that your field team can actually review them and give an approval on them. That is certainly a possibility.
Thank you, Karthik, for the presentation. Thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, you can write us back on contact@freelon.com.